to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockovic. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Black Shirt, and this is Bock in the Black Shirt here at 93.7 The Ticket. And Bock is not in. He'll be in a few seconds, but we'll call this the Black Shirt in Austin on board right here, right now for your 1 to 3 hour here on the show.
What's up, Farley?
I think, ooh.
How are you?
My phone was on. I was.
You're just like I can't get out. I can't do a show without someone's phone going off.
I'm trying to share the show.
I can't.
I was sharing. How was your trip, Austin?
It was great. I'm glad to be back, though.
You glad to be back?
Both.
3 days in Vegas.
4. We got in Monday.
4.
We were in early Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was 3.5, 4 days in Vegas.
Now, when your first Big Ten media day.
First one.
One in the books.
In the books.
How did it go for you? Like I know you did 9 hours straight on the first day.
And the second day.
And the second day.
And 5 hours on the third day.
All right. How was that? It was
It was
grooving
great
for you?
It was wonderful. You know, I will not complain about it. It's what I signed up to do. Great to see people walking around. DP talked about the measuring stick, right? Comparing what Nebraska's dudes look like, how they walk to everyone else. There's some dudes in the Big Ten Conference. I know that doesn't surprise anyone, but I hope that you all enjoyed our coverage from out there in Las Vegas. Thanks for picking up on short notice a little bit yesterday, but man, great to talk to all sorts of new people, put names to faces, and just see all the hullabaloo, the hubbub, the commotion, everything going on out there. A great time. Very, very grateful for the opportunity to be out there.
When you talk about that swagger and that confidence, and when you see these players, it's some of them has that real man swagger. Like they know they're supposed to be here. They're real confident about their football team. They look the part of football players.
Oh yeah.
Now Nebraska's doing that. Not saying it's all the way there, but we're getting to the point where I seen some of the interviews. They was comfortable. They was comfortable. They was confidence in what they were saying. Now, a lot of things gonna change in 3-4 weeks here when college football do start. What are some of the things you like that some of the players said?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to hear the confidence from Nebraska's guys. I think the interview that stood out most to those of us that were out there having that conversation was when Deshaun Singleton came over and talked to us, right, about all the stuff he's doing first for his family and how he takes that really seriously. That's a guy that without the JUCO route would have been done after last year. I think his return really helped stabilize a lot for that Nebraska defensive backfield. That was a really, really good, really fun interview with Deshaun Singleton. I mean, Marquise Buford in the defensive backfield with him, energy absolutely off the charts, right? Good dude, happy-go-lucky dude, a lot of personality there. He sat down with us the same time as we got Henry Lutovsky. Henry, right, that's a guy that's kind of been through the ringer at Nebraska, been injured, been one of those guys that really had to fight for his spot and got on the field consistently for the first time last year. He's starting to look the part. Not a whole lot of offensive linemen were there day 1 and day 2. Of course, Iowa brought an offensive lineman of their own on day 3. But no, I think Henry Lutovsky, you can see the growth from him when he first got to campus, not just in what he says, but how he says it, how he walks around. And then QB1, we didn't get to talk to him until at the end of the long day, so I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack. But Dylan didn't say anything overly crazy controversial. The Kobe MJ thing was just kind of funny. Don't know why he would go there. But other than that, I thought he handled the moment really well. Makes sense that Matt Rule would leave him behind last year, but I thought Dylan Raiola was more than ready for the spotlight this year. Coaches.
Now, when you see these coaches, some are different. Some are you like, man, I didn't know he was that small, or he's a big guy. What coach stood out to you at the Big Ten Media Day? Man, I mean, Cignetti made his headlines. Bielema came in and did his thing. A slimmer Bielema. A little slimmer, yes. Kind of stole the show with his comment about his trip to Vegas in 2008. So thought that was pretty good. I thought Barry Odom was fine. His first year there at Purdue. I really thought Lincoln Riley handled it better this year than last year. Obviously, Deshaun Foster made some jokes about how it went last year, but he looked the part, he acted the part, sounded the part. Dan Lanning, I thought, took everything in stride. When I think about Oregon coming into the Big Ten last year, big personality, brash, in your face, we're Oregon, we're going to run the league. And to their credit, they did. They went 13-0. And for a guy that comes from the SEC like Dan Lanning did, you're never going to have him, fully back off of that, especially to place with the culture of Oregon. But I do think that the Dan Lanning understands the challenge ahead of him. Oregon doesn't bring back a whole lot. And so Dan Lanning sounded confident in his team, as he should. Oregon's still going to be good. I don't know if this is going to be one of those extremely special Oregon teams, but I think Dan Lanning, you could also tell he understands he has his work cut out for him. I was a little surprised not to hear more about the travel from either the coaches from the far west wing or the far east wing of the Big Ten, talk about how that was impacted. But no, I thought for the most part, the coaches towed the company line. They did a good job. They got their message out there, got in, got out, really no muss, no fuss. All right. Now, when we hear PJ Fleck, he talks about a Nebraska team being dangerous. Are we that dangerous, Austin? What do you think about that, Farley? I think we're dangerous in a let's see. I think we're semi-dangerous right now. We can't say dangerous until we really play the game. I mean, we could talk about we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But it all comes down to how fall ball goes. Nobody gets injured. How much of the defensive line has came up that's really beefed up the defensive line. You know, it's a lot of things that we can ask. Is the special teams going to be a fiery guy like their coach? I mean, does John Butler has what it takes to replace Tony White? I mean, that's some of the main things we have to see. I mean, there's a lot of question marks on the other side of the ball besides offense, because offense is probably going to be the leaders of this team for probably the whole season.
I would tend to agree with that. Farley, when's the last year that Nebraska beat Minnesota?
Shoot. PJ Fleck is undefeated against Nebraska, ain't he? He's 6-0, ain't what is he? 5.
PJ Fleck, when did he get to Minnesota?
I think he was there, 8?
PJ Fleck has been at Minnesota in January of 2017. So Nebraska beat PJ Fleck in October of 2018, their year 0. And then it's 5 straight for Minnesota. 5 straight wins for Minnesota. 34-7, 24-17, 30-23, 20-13, and 13-10. When I hear that comment from PJ Fleck, number one, I don't think he's wrong necessarily. I do think Nebraska is dangerous for a variety of factors that you went into. But think about where and when Nebraska plays Minnesota this year. It's at Minnesota on a short week. I don't know if PJ Fleck intended it as a troll, but I think he was buttering Nebraska up. He feels really good about his team's chances against Nebraska. I think Minnesota is one of those sneaky under-the-radar teams in the Big Ten this year. Breaking in a freshman quarterback starting for the first time will do that to you. I'm sure PJ Fleck means a little bit about what he says, but really I think that was we own Nebraska. I'm going to bring them up because I know how this is going to go over. But I think that was just him buttering Nebraska up, saying we own these guys. You know, yeah, they'll be dangerous. So that if his team does what he believes it can do, knock off Nebraska, like, oh yeah, see, you know what? They're not actually that dangerous. We knew we were better the whole time. If that's a dangerous Nebraska team, what does that say about us? That's how I think he set that up.
Yeah. Well, what was really dangerous is that I like the comment that Ryan Day said that he brought 3 guys that he had to check into the hotel because they wasn't 21 or older. That was one of the most funniest
Hey, you
stories.
didn't come through for us. You didn't get Caleb over to us.
I was waiting for Nick to call me.
We were there. We thought you set it up for us, Farley. Come on now.
His dad texted me.
We were there all day.
Well, yeah.
There's never a bad time for him to come over.
Yeah,
we thought you were going to come through for us.
Hey, look, I thought you guys I think you guys handled it well. I think you and Nick, especially Jay and DP, did a great job. Just on a not a full crew, but you know, y'all did a great job that probably takes 10 guys to do. But you know, I'm proud of you guys and
we appreciate it.
Welcome you back.
Thank you. It is good to be back. Like I said, fantastic time. Mandalay Bay was a really great host for the event. I know that Tony Petitti has it his way. The Big Ten Media Days will not be coming back to Las Vegas. You can only imagine how much it cost the Big Ten to move it out of Indianapolis back to Las Vegas. But I thought it was really well run. I thought it was pretty smooth. Making our lives a little more difficult was more TV partners and digital partners than in years past. And the setup. I don't know if we sent you any pictures or video of our walk through the hotel. But essentially imagine the hotel being on like the far left side. I don't know directions. I get all screwed up in Vegas. Got to go all the way through the casino, all the way through the food court, past like the beach and the pool area to get to the convention center. You got to hook a right. Either you go up some elevators or some escalators. Then you're at the 3rd floor. When you're on the 3rd floor, you get upstairs. You got to walk down a long hallway. That's what they call Radio Row. So we were just kind of in a back hallway of the Mandalay Bay Convention Center up there on the 3rd floor. All the action was going on in one of the main ballrooms. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but you would take a right to get to those, and you're just in this big open space. That's where most of the mingling was going on, as opposed to what's happened in years past, right? You're all out there on the field at Lucas Oil Stadium. You got your own tables, you're set up, you're spaced out. And so people are just walking by constantly. Players, coaches, SIDs, athletic directors, whoever it is. Radio Row was kind of cordoned off, kind of segmented off. And sure, they found their way to us. I'm sure people saw throughout the course of the week, the doors that were directly in front of me, where I was sitting directly behind Jay and the guests for the most part, those are the doors that the coaches would walk in. So we were actually, I think, live on air when Coach Rule got done speaking. And so he came fresh off his podium, walked out those doors, and then came straight to us. So it wasn't a terrible spot, just not the setup I think that we've been used to seeing for Big Ten Media Days.
Yeah. James Franklin didn't like it. I don't think he was pleased with the fact that he had to travel all the way to Vegas with the traditional way that the Big Ten has been doing it. Do you see this as the last year in Vegas, you think?
Never say never. I think that it still feels weird for the Big Ten to have that Western edition. And so whether it was intentional or not, I do think it made sense to have media days in Vegas at least once. With the way expansion was working, maybe it was too short a notice last year as the welcome to the league. I still think, though, ideally for the Big Ten, I mean, Lucas Oil works really well. US Bank Stadium up in Minneapolis, I think, would work just as well. Detroit, if you really want to, use the Lions Field potentially. I just don't see the Big Ten going that far west again, or even that far east for something like media days, right? I don't see them hosting it in a New York, in a Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh or Philly don't feel like Big Ten cities, even though Penn State's there. So my guess is that the Big Ten really values its working relationship with the city of Indianapolis. I've heard that city is a great event city, even though I've never been there personally. So I'll never say never. I do think there's certainly merit to having everything in Vegas. And we were sitting by a Vegas outlet throughout the course of the event. And one of the guys there, shout out our boy Quentin, who was there. He was talking with us. And an interesting thing that he said is that if the Big Ten really wanted to, they could have all 18 teams here in Vegas on one day, and Vegas wouldn't blink. And that's just so interesting to think about. Obviously, the Big Ten will never do that because you have 3 days of television content instead of just one day. That's never going to happen where they bring them all out. But it was a good reminder, I think, to the Big Ten and to Big Ten football fans that as big a deal as the Big Ten truly is, it's prestigious. It has its history. It moves the needle in college. There's a much bigger world out there. The Big Ten feels like it's a big fish, and it is. But sometimes there are much bigger ponds out there. The Big Ten has to remember, I don't want to say you stay in your place, stay in your lane. I don't think that's the right way to phrase it. But I do think going to a city like Vegas, being on that scale, where you can have Mandalay Bay, where a lot of, really cool things have happened in the past, and the Big Ten, I think, fits right into that. But it's just another big thing when Big Ten Media Days goes to Vegas. Whereas if it goes to Indianapolis, the city's going to be all about that for those 3 days, probably the week ahead of time. It just kind of got, I feel like, absorbed into the Vegasness of Vegas.
Now, there's a lot of people complaining about is the Big Ten trying to be stubborn about what's going on in college football? Because now it feels like it's the Big Ten versus everybody else now.
That's where I appreciated the Rich Clark interview that we did with him. That was one of my favorite interviews that we've ever done. So definitely go out and check that out on the podcast if you missed it. I think there's a fine line between being stubborn and sticking up for what it is your conference wants. Because I think when I hear stubborn, when I hear hard-headed, to me, that's against evidence. That's, we want it this way just because we want it this way. I do think the Big Ten has legitimate evidence that its business interests would be advanced by the model it's proposing. I do think that that's legitimately on the table. I think Rich Clark would agree. He said it. Both the Big Ten approach, if you want to call it that, and the SEC approach have merit to them. There's no one perfect right way to do the system. And that's why you've seen it change so often over the years since, we had the polls vote on it, the AP and the coaches. Then we went to computers, BCS. Let's use the numbers. Let's use these formulas. No, well, the computers just don't get it. They're not watching football with their eyes. We need a playoff, right? We can't just have 2 teams. Look at all these great teams that don't have a team to win a championship. Okay, then you get to a 4-team. Well, that's not enough teams. Well, it's a big enough deal that we need to get more of our teams in. So let's just expand it right now to 12. The best way to determine a champion changes based on what we value as a society, what we value as sports fans. Sure, there are some ways that we can argue have more merit than others, and I won't stop us from having that conversation. But no, to come back to your question, I don't think Tony Petitti and the Big Ten are being stubborn. I think they legitimately believe it's right. I think they have evidence in their back pocket that would point it that way. Whether you agree or disagree, they're not being stubborn. They're not holding up progress just for the sake of holding up progress. They're just acting in rational self-interest.
I see. That's a good quote there, Austin.
Okay,
Okay, Austin.
Farley, here's the thing, though. Old Dad 34 says Big Ten Media Days should be in Omaha.
Nah. I'll go to Lincoln before I go to Omaha. I think it should be
in terms of event city. You would go to Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but I would keep it in Indianapolis at that field just to have that room, that spacious feeling, like,
and it would feel like football.
Yeah,
it felt so corporate out there in Vegas.
See,
and it's a big money league. But there's just something about having it at a football field where these guys are in their element, they're on turf, and it's a good reminder you're playing to get here. As long as we have a Big Ten championship game, this is your first or second, maybe your third major goal is to have, the last game of your conference season be played here in this building.
Yeah, you're right. Special food you ate out there, Austin? Anything special? Because I know when we went to Indy, we went to a steakhouse or a cocktail, whatever it is.
St. Elmo's,
and they had this cocktail sauce. Was probably the best cocktail sauce I ever had in my life. So, what was special place did y'all go?
Oh, it was just the company was special, right? Being out there with those three guys, we had a blast as we were out there. We didn't do anything crazy over the top for food. I think two of the restaurant, what would that have been? Monday night and Tuesday night. Oh, even Wednesday night too. We just ate at the casino in the food court. We went to a Cajun place that they had, went to the Mexican place, and then we just hit up the food court on the third night. It was good. It was good. We would have been nice to get off the beaten path a little bit, but there's just not as much around Mandalay Bay. That's kind of on one tail end of the strip. You have to do a little bit more driving to do it. So I wouldn't say the food was particularly memorable in and of itself. I would tell you, it sounds like the media meals got rave reviews compared to the stuff that they were putting out in Indianapolis. So I think that's probably where the food actually, I don't know if it was shined necessarily, but it was probably better comparable to Indy.
Well, you say that Mandalay Bay, where'd you say is on the tail end of the strip?
Yeah, let me pull up a map so I don't speak out of turn because I don't know my directions. As I looked at it, Mandalay Bay was on the left end of what I think would be considered the strip. So I guess it would be the south part. Yeah. So Mandalay Bay is like stone's throw from the airport. It's really quick to get there. As you go north, then you pass the Luxor, which is pretty much right next door. MGM Grand is probably the next one, Excalibur in there as well. But I would say that the strip doesn't really start until you get to that next block or so. And even then, I think you're on the pretty far south end of the strip. Where I stayed when I was there for the college basketball crown was pretty much directly right on the strip. I had to walk places, absolutely. But based on where I was, everything was walking distance. Whereas this Mandalay Bay one, you would have had to cross some major streets. It just felt a little more isolated and excluded from all the hustle and bustle, I guess, of the strip.
Well, you've been to Vegas twice in what, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah, it would have been April 1st through the 8th. I was out there the first time. So yeah, about 3.5 months. And our resident Vegas guy, David, says it's southwest of the strip. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
All right, Austin, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to break down the Big Ten Media Day. And Bock will be in. And hopefully, if he's not, Austin has come back for another round of Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Serving our listeners for 43 years, Wolf Ace Hardware, your local hardware man, would like to take the time to salute our military, first responders, law enforcement, and firefighters who are there for us year-round. Let's all take a moment to give them the respect they deserve. Wolf Ace Hardware, located at 6118 Havelock Avenue in Lincoln, a quality company that cares. Contractors and homeowners, get to Wolf Ace Hardware for all your paint, brushes, and anything else you need for your upcoming projects. For more information, call 402-466-7707. Pick up everything you need at Wolf Ace Hardware, where you're always appreciated as a friend and customer. Wishing all of you a very healthy and prosperous summer season.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the Text to Pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket. It is Bock in the Black Shirt here, and I got my man Bock back. But first, we're gonna pay tribute to a real American person, brother. All right, Bock, let's get it.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand, it don't have to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta be a man.
All right, Bock. It's been a rough week for a lot of people out here in this world. Ozzy passed. Malcolm Jamal, what's his name?
Theo Huxtable.
Huxtable from the Huxtable.
Yeah.
He's passed away, and now the great Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
one of the most prolific wrestlers that we came up in our generation watching. One of the greatest moves for me is when he slammed Andre the Giant in WrestleMania. Then when he moved to the WWF, he was the bad guy then, but he will always be, I guess we could say, America's good guy.
Yeah, he was. He played that role, played it well. His interest in music was one of the more patriotic in history. I also like Kurt Angle's for shout out for that for patriotic theme music. But in any case, it is a legend that passes away, especially in the ring. Again, it's kind of opened up a lot of discourse about stuff that he did outside the ring, and of course, nobody's sins are forgiven just from passing away. And so some people are going to still hold that against him. But as far as, in-ring wrestler, sometimes it's that whole separate the art from the artist type of thing at some point. And in Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, the character, it was the most important, I believe, in wrestling history. And again, went beyond just wrestling. I mean, wrestling was obviously his art, if you will, but he opened up to be just an American icon. And through the 80s and into the 90s, and then I keep mentioning too is he had that reality TV show along with Ozzy Osbourne, who had that reality TV show kind of spurring that situation, which obviously has different iterations of reality TV shows following families around for years with the Kardashians after it and all that. So it was just a huge movement. Hulkamaniacs. I consider myself a Hulkamaniac to a degree, right? Just because it's fun. I mean, he helped incorporate you, feel like he was fighting for you on your side, all that sort of stuff. So, like you said, whether it's slamming Andre or battling off the bad guy, joining NWO, he had so many moments in the ring that were exciting and iconic. And so it is tough to see him go at a young age of 71.
What would you rank him at in your top five, Bock? He has to be in your top five.
He does. He has to be in your top five, and I think he's almost inarguably number one. Now you can come from different angles and try. Again, DP will always say Andre the Giant, the biggest attraction. There were guys before him that he even used their gimmick to a degree. But as far as mainstreaming wrestling and bringing it to the big stage and getting, again, kind of crossing over into being part of American culture, not just kind of wrestling in that era, I don't think there's anybody who did more for the sport of pro wrestling, if you will, than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I would put him in my top four. When I say four, I'm a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. So
Yeah.
Stone Cold would be my number one. I would just say that because just the way he wrestles. Andre the Giant, number two for me. I would go probably the Hulk, and then the Rock, and then 5 is a toss-up.
Yeah, it's fun when you kind of get into that argument because there are, the Ric Flairs of the world, the Undertakers that can have arguments. So if you have to narrow it down to 4 or 3 or 5, you're going to leave out some big time players. But again, I do think, I think it's inarguable. Hulk Hogan has to be up there. Again, taking out the stuff outside, but just inside the ring and what they did in wrestling, he's got to be. He's almost inarguably to me number one. every fan base is, you kind of go into sports, like every fan base is going to have their own argument about why their team or why this guy or that guy would argue it. But I think as a whole, I think people regard him as the most important wrestler of all time. Again, Bruno San Martino, there's guys before him laid the foundation, but he really took it to that next level.
When we talk about Flair and his role in wrestling, could we take him down a couple of notches because he didn't start off in the WWF and he was in the NWO or NWA over there? Do you take points off because WWF was the most hype wrestling? I mean, it was like watching a daytime story for me, but it only came on at night. And everybody lined up on TV for Monday Night Raw. I mean, especially in the late 90s, like 97, 98, 99.
Yeah.
That's
Attitude
when,
era.
yeah, that area right there. Do we take slots away from Hulk Hogan because of that, or do we still just put him in your top 5?
No, I mean, between Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and a lot of guys kind of jumped around from WCW to WWF at the time, or the WWE as it's known today. It depends. If you're having a simple WWE argument, you would have a different top 5, or you'd have different accomplishments that are granted in there. I know, like Booker T, if you can dig it, sucker, had 5 WCW championships, never got one in WWE. So, you can. There are clear distinctions. But I think as far as wrestling as a whole, I guess what would hurt Ric Flair to me is he never necessarily became the cultural icon that Hulk Hogan is. Again, wrestling fan or not, everybody in the 90s could recognize Hulk Hogan walking by at the airport or at the grocery store. I don't know if everybody could do that with Ric Flair. It's kind of interesting how he's aged well, right? He kind of translated, has kind of transferred over to Ric Flair, just because.
Did you see Ric Flair lately?
I don't want to say aged well. I don't say aged well as far as physically, I suppose. Though any wrestler, I think he wrestled well into his 50s and maybe even to his 60s. I think he's had a retirement match every other year, I think, since then. So, but I mean, like his popularity, or I guess his way to transcend past wrestling into culture, has kind of taken a step in the last couple of years, because people like his character, his attitude, jet flying, kiss stealing, son of a gun, all that sort of stuff has kind of made its way a little bit beyond that. But again, I think when you talk about like people that cross over into cultural icons, not just wrestling icons, that's why The Rock, The Rock is probably the closest thing you could find to Hulk Hogan in that category. And so again, it always depends on what you're kind of ranking, because if you do the all-time best wrestler, The Rock almost gets hurt because he had so much Hollywood success that he didn't, he could have stayed in the company 10, 15 years longer as an everyday wrestler and had all these more belts and storylines and accomplishments around him. But he had so much success outside the ring that that some would take him outside of their top 4 Mount Rushmore, top 5 for that. So it's just an always interesting
You can't take
argument.
The Rock out. You can't.
I would say it's hard. It would be hard.
The entertainment in The Rock, the entertainment for all wrestling is the talking part.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it in the ring, but when we come to talking, The Rock is number 1 at talking. You can go Rock, Flair, Stone Cold, Booker T if you want to match it for entertainment wise. But when you talk about entertainment in wrestling, The Rock is number 1 to me.
Well, and he is. That's a big part of him. And that's why, but he, again, is that example of not just wrestling fans would recognize him if you walk by him. He's probably one of the most recognizable people in the world because of his Hollywood success. But you're right. Mic promos have a lot to do with that. Mic skills, I should say, which lead to promos. And that's what I don't know. I guess I don't know if necessarily calling people brother is originated by Hulk Hogan, but it's definitely been elevated because of Hulk Hogan over the years. And so, that's something that's hard to calculate into your rankings, I suppose.
All right, Bock, in today's show, we're going to go over Nebraska football, but we're not going to do it to the second hour, Bock. I got some other stuff we want to go through real fast, because we're going to give you the whole hour, nothing but Matt Rule, Dylan Riola, and other things at the Big Ten Media Day that came up. Bock, now, I want to get to this right here that's been trending a little bit lately. Clemson versus LSU, or LSU versus Clemson. It's getting out of hand, Bock. This is what we're going to call the debate over Death Valley. Earlier in the week, LSU coach Brian Kelly referred to Clemson as Death Valley Junior.
Ooh, yeah.
Clemson defensive end TJ Parker said, we're going to handle it on August 30th. Now, when you talk about who did it first, Bock, Clemson started their Death Valley in 1948. LSU did their Death Valley in 1959 after a win versus Clemson.
Ah, okay.
We didn't know all that.
I didn't know that, no.
So now they play the first game of the season August 30th. But you know how they say about Death Valley Junior. How hype is this game going to be, Bock? Because, Bock, now we're getting to the part of college football where the trash talking and the talking is really going to have to live up to its expectations because football season is almost probably 36 days away?
Yeah, not too far. It's interesting because that is one that I think is getting a little bit overlooked as far as opening weekend, and it's a huge one. LSU and Clemson. This kind of adds a little bit to it, so I absolutely love that we're getting into it. Clemson's had so much success over the years that it kind of has carved out over the last decade, I should say, kind of carved out that role to kind of think of one of the best programs in the sport, obviously. But LSU to me has always kind of been more Death Valley when I think of it, just because it has that extra element of basically it's the number one destination for college football fans. If you don't care about the team, right? If you're just trying to explain to somebody how hype college football can get, and in the best destination to go to is LSU as far as a home football game. I still haven't been. I'd love to go, and if I was given an opportunity to go to LSU or Clemson, I'd go to LSU. So I'll go with Brian Kelly. I'll say this is Death Valley Junior over there at Clemson. Yet they've had so much success, and obviously LSU has had their own success with Joe Burrow and all that. Obviously now into a different era. But I love it. I just, this is the type of stuff that you love about college football, right? So much tradition and history and pride in what those maybe unique traditions are at your school. And a lot of it blends over. I mean, we could definitely, if you're at Nebraska, we have the Sea of Red and that's just kind of our thing. But if you want to start having Memorial Stadium competition, there's plenty of Memorial Stadiums across the nation that would try to start arguing who's the real Memorial Stadium and all that. So, this is the exact part of college football that I love.
Yeah, I can't wait to that game. I mean, when we look at that schedule for the first week in college football, that's an all-day thing. That's not. Oh yeah. That's like wake up, honey. Here's a couple of dollars. Go do what you want. I'll see you at tomorrow. Type of talk.
Well, and it's good too because Nebraska plays on Thursday, right? And so they got the eyes of the nation on them Thursday, opening up college football. You're gonna have week 0 Farmageddon in Ireland with Kansas State and Iowa State before that, which will get a lot of eyes on it. But Nebraska's gonna have the eyes of the nation, and then you as a Husker fan get to sit back and watch all week. And it's my favorite weekend of the year because we'll have football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. All college football opening up every day, important matchups. So it's going to be a ride. It's going to be fun.
All right, let's go to break, Bock. And when we come back, a little bit more of college football news. And then in hour 2, we'll go to the Big Ten Media Day and hear from coaches, players, who was all out there and just see what it's all about. 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to be partly to mostly cloudy here for your Friday. Very slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon into this evening. High temperature of 83 degrees with a light southerly wind. We'll drop down to 70 for a low tonight before we hit 90 for a high on Saturday. And then we'll be pushing triple digits Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Batter up! Join us this summer at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed Salt Dogs games running now through August. Visit saltdogs.com for updates on everything you need to know about weekly promotions, giveaways, and special events. That's where you'll find the latest updates to make sure you catch all the excitement and never miss a homestand you want to attend. Haymarket Park is your ticket to fun all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Blackshirt at your 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock hour, Monday through Friday at The Ticket. Bock, look like some NFL players are getting in trouble. Bock, more than 100 NFL players will be fined for selling their Super Bowl tickets above face value, AP says.
Well, I can't blame them. I mean, you get an opportunity. That's a big big ticket possibility. So, but I guess, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know there were so many rules by the NFL not to try to make some extra money out of it.
Caitlin Clark, WNBA logo woman patch sold for a record $660K, Bock, at a fantastic auction.
Yeah, was this the rookie card, right?
The patch.
Okay, the patch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The logo patch.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's even better than a card. So fair enough. I mean, Caitlin Clark has taken the league by storm, the world by storm over the last couple of years, even from college at Iowa, obviously, and everything that was kind of going on there. Can I say I'm 600,000? That's a lot, right? I'm not saying that's not a lot. But sometimes we see
It's a women's record.
We see all these different cards and stuff. That's the women's record. Okay.
Yeah, it's a record for women's auction that $660K.
Okay, yeah, well that makes sense. That's a lot, but I've seen some other items go for a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, oh yeah, you're seeing a lot of stuff go high. Bock, another report coming out. North Carolina exploring move from the ACC.
Yeah, I don't love it because it could mean another round of conference realignment, and I think this round would particularly kill college football as we know it. Obviously, the ACC, if it disintegrates, much like the Pac-12, we're gonna have to find some landing spots for teams out there. So it wouldn't be good. But North Carolina is in a good position, and they got to forget about the ACC. We got to care for ourselves. The Florida State Clemson lawsuit that did eventually get passed, that they eventually dropped that lawsuit, I should say, against the ACC. A lot of that's about the exiting fees and the land of grant of rights deals and all that. And so it cleared the path a little bit for teams to explore a little bit sooner than later the possibility of leaving. The interesting news to this is that North Carolina, for the longest time, had thought to be the Big Ten's biggest target if they were going to pick apart the ACC. And academically, North Carolina liked that idea. They liked the idea of joining the Big Ten, more of a prestigious academic conference than the SEC. But something has kind of changed with the leadership over there. Obviously, if they've got Bill Belichick, it seems like they've completely turned their attention toward the SEC, which again could deplete the ACC as we know it. Looks like North Carolina and Clemson are kind of the top targets if the SEC does expand. And so, maybe just those two, maybe the ACC could survive with those losses, maybe look to add some other teams. But if it starts being, okay, well, the ACC's got this, of course, remember they have 16 schools. If they just added 2 to get to 18, then the Big Ten could maybe stay pat at 18. But at the same time, Clemson and North Carolina are big additions to the SEC if it does go that route, especially competitively on the field with Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, and then the Big Ten come back and counter and take Syracuse and let's say SMU.
Yeah.
So, it's not a deal breaker that we get the top 2 teams because we don't know how good Clemson will be in the SEC. I mean, you see what Georgia did to them last year and probably a Texas team that can beat them and a couple more teams that can beat them.
Well, that's particularly the point, too, with North Carolina. For Clemson, it's like, okay, kind of like when we're looking at Texas and Oklahoma. Texas is like, okay, they're fighting, they're ready to go. They can swing in the SEC, and they did. They made it to the conference championship game. While Oklahoma were going, well, they're not at the top of their program. What's it going to look like in the SEC? And they did beat Alabama, but they struggled. It's kind of the same thing with Clemson, where it's like, yeah, I don't know if they would be the Clemson we know, but they'd just be another juggernaut football program in the SEC to deal with. Whereas North Carolina, it's like, man, you guys don't win enough in the ACC, right? I mean, you're already, and they've done fine as a program, right? They're kind of between, 6-9 wins more years than not, which is good. But as far as championship competitions, North Carolina, as our football program, is definitely in the lower tier, mid to lower tier. And I would say closer to the lower tier than mid of the SEC competitively. So we'll see. But maybe there's a new hope, right? I mean, Bill Belichick in town, they want to call themselves the 32nd, 33rd NFL team. If they can get that rolling and then storm into the SEC at the right time, because I think if there would be a move, I think it's 2027. Would be kind of the target date or target season that they'd be looking for. Don't quote me on that. I read one article about it this morning, but I think that the idea was at one time it was going to take till getting into the 2030s for anybody to exit the ACC.
Yeah, because we just read that buyout clause that the ACC had for all these teams. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if you think about that, do they want to pay that exit fee and why now? And let it pass.
Well, and again, I think it's that lawsuit that Florida State and Clemson had. There was something, again, can't speak perfectly on the legal manners, but there was something about it that kind of opened up the door a little bit more easier. They kind of found a middle ground to maybe allow these teams to get out of those deals a little bit easier. And now North Carolina is going to explore that. Again, once it happens, and I think it's inevitable, so it's kind of weird to kind of sit here and say, well, I don't want it to happen yet. I love the ACC and the Big 12 as they are. But we all know the SEC and the Big 10 are already at this elevated level compared to those other conferences, just frankly for the fact that they are arguing to get 4 auto bids, right? The Big 10 is for the Big 10 and the SEC, and it's a legitimate solution for the college football playoff. That, among other things, TV deals, all that sort of stuff, will let you know. And so I think at some point it might be inevitable the Big 10 and SEC completely take over. The question is if there's anything left, and what do we do with what's left? And there's going to be some certain haves and have-nots in the ACC that are going to get picked and not picked accordingly.
All right, Bock. That's our number one right here at Bock in the Black Shirt. And when we come back, more college football, more Nebraska football. 93.7 The Ticket.
Serving our listeners for 43 years, Wolf Ace Hardware, your local hardware man, would like to take the time to salute our military, first responders, law enforcement, and firefighters who are there for us year-round. Let's all take a moment to give them the respect they deserve. Wolf Ace Hardware, located at 6118 Havelock Avenue in Lincoln, a quality company that cares. Contractors and homeowners, get to Wolf Ace Hardware for all your paint, brushes, and anything else you need for your upcoming projects. For more information, call 402-466-7707. Pick up everything you need at Wolf Ace Hardware, where you're always appreciated as a friend and customer. Wishing all of you a very healthy and prosperous summer season.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple and Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Black Shirt here on the 1 to 3 hour here, Bock. Are we ready for some Nebraska football, Bock?
I think we're getting there. Coming off of media days, it definitely feels like the season's getting closer. The team seems to be a little bit more, at least the approach, I should say, from the team at Big Ten Media Days seems to be all about confidence and feeling like this is the year to get into it. So, yeah, it should be a fun ride ahead of us.
Well, I'm posting a lot of stuff on my story part on Facebook about Nebraska football, and I take it off TikTok and just repost it on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of good content on there coming out. All right, Bock, let's get straight to it. Bock, let's hear what Matt Rule had to say when he was at Big Ten Media Day.
Yeah, there's a couple of clips to get through. I think we, and I don't want to bring the Scott Frost stuff back up, so we can kind of somewhat listen to that, but then kind of dive into a little bit more, because I wanted to hear what your thoughts are, particularly because he used the Frost talk as an avenue to kind of talk about the job he had when he took over. And I thought that was the most interesting part of this, But it's also, worth noting that Rule did kind of stick up for Frost, and I think wants to kind of temper
play that part.
any sort of stuff that's kind of going on there.
Because
So,
I wanted to answer. I thought about that, and I do have some takes on that. Go ahead.
yeah. So here's Coach Rule talking about Frost in the Nebraska job.
A ton of respect for Scott, and I've always been very empathetic for what he went through because like this was his home. Like if you guys fire me tomorrow, like I'm just going to go back to Cape May and sit on the beach and go back to where I'm from. But like this was his home, right? And so like this offseason, we put up a huge picture of Scott as a player in the coach's area because I took a picture and I sent it to Ryan Callahan down there because I can't imagine like what that feels like for him, right? I know what it felt like to get run out of Carolina. And I would say to people, like, I don't think I took the right job for me. It wasn't the right fit. That doesn't mean it's a bad. No, I will say this. This was not a good job when I got here. Like, behind on NIL. The facilities weren't what they were. Everything was behind. Trev convinced me, like, hey, Matt, this is going to, by the time we get to the point where we're going to be able to pay players, like, this is the only Big Ten school with no debt. We're going to, like this, right now we're talking about 20.5. It's going to go up percentages every year. And we're at a place where we have the best facility in football. We have everything that we could want. We make more of an investment in nutrition than any other team in the country. I mean, look at all of our sports. Look at how they're all blossoming right now because of the investments we're making in nutrition, sports science. Like there wasn't a sauna in the facility when we first got there. And now you got to pick between a steam room, a sauna, an infrared sauna, your personal sauna. Like those were investments. Scott came at a time, he had COVID, he had all these different things. So I can't talk about his time. But what I can say was this wasn't a good job. Yeah, it was not a good job. But we've made it a good job, and we're about to make it a great job. This will be one of the best jobs in the country. And like that's why sometimes recruits will say, like, Coach, if you win, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm gonna stay right here. Like, the only thing I ever think about is getting a lake house in one of these lakes in Nebraska I keep hearing about.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to really say because I don't think Nebraska has ever been down facility wise. I mean, it's always upgrades that we do in college football. Now, when you talk about the turf and things like that, I think Matt Rule is more trying to help Scott Frost out instead of trying to really not badmouth Nebraska, but with the upgrade things. I just really think he's trying to bail Scott Frost out of a lot of people from Nebraska that really want to say what they feel about Scott Frost. But Matt Rule comes out and tries to de-escalate the whole thing with the Scott Frost comment. Kind of get it.
Yeah, I absolutely get it. And remember, these are guys that have played. Some of them have played for Scott Frost. Some of them still have a relationship, might still keep in contact with Scott Frost, at the very least committed to come play football at Nebraska under Scott Frost. So it's always going to be there. And I like the approach to acknowledge it. And to even embrace it and to kind of put Scott Frost, like you said, kind of put some sort of Scott Frost as a player memoriam up there because he was important to this program. It's weird. I mean, I still go, just going around town. I even went to a restaurant the other night that still has a big Trev Alberts, picture of, and so these guys that maybe have turned their back on Nebraska or didn't work at Nebraska for one way or the other in Trev Alberts and Scott Frost, and I'm kind of throwing Trev in here as well. They still should be embraced in my mind for what they did as players. Now, some people aren't going to be able to forgive some of their mistakes post-career, and to each their own about that. But as far as a football team that still has maybe some sort of connection and is hearing from Scott Frost, and Scott Frost is maybe not the most professional coach, if you will, out there as far as some of those comments leading out there Big 12 media days. And I had wondered, what is the approach on that inside the locker room? Because you could think, well, maybe it kind of at least gives them a reprieve from local talking this or that about their team and kind of focusing on Scott Frost, or maybe they could see it as a distraction again, because there are still connections to him on the team. So I like the approach to directly, to do it. And then he kind of, the one thing I don't know if I would go as far as to say it was a bad job when he took it, right? I get what he was saying, and I get where he was going with it. The Tom Osborne complex that they built is the reason why he was saying, like, the facilities that wasn't there. Remember, it was under construction when he came here, and so you're just kind of constantly looking over and thinking, well, that's going to be great when it's done. And here it is, and now it is, and they feel like they have some of the best some of that sort of stuff going on. But I don't know if I would consider Nebraska a bad job. It kind of goes back to the Bo Pelini stuff when Bo Pelini was complaining about a couple thousand people leaving the game early. It's like, well, are you ignoring the 75, 80,000 people that are still there? And so there's a lot of unique parts to this job. It has gone over the years from being a top 5 job now to probably a top 25 job. And when I say that, if I could say 15 or 20, I probably would. I think it's kind of in that 20 to 25 category. But I don't know if it's gotten a whole lot worse, partially because whether it's in construction or building, it's like, okay, well, that's coming. We knew the support was coming with the complex and that sort of stuff. So, I mean, I get what he was saying, but if it wasn't a good job, you wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, I understand that part you're talking about, Bock. And when I say that it probably was a bad job because of the losing that we suffered over 7 years of not going to a bowl game. That's the part I think about when he said it was a bad job, because Nebraska has always had good things and a crowd to go in there, and they spend money. So it's not like we're cheap or we didn't have anything to upgrade because of the way we was playing. I wouldn't reward a team with lavish stuff until we've proven that we can maintain how to win on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying? Not just a up and down years. Because we all had down years, Bock, and I think till we get over this 7-game hump, then we still have to become a great team.
Well, and again, it just kind of goes to the ranking system. I think Nebraska is, and he kind of pointed to it, is by the time he hopes here in a couple of years, and hopefully not by the time he leaves, he didn't phrase it that way. Obviously, he's looking for that lake house. As he was saying that, he can elevate with the winning on the field and what they have here. I think it can raise back to a top 15 job. And then you kind of have to take your steps. Obviously, if you want to be a top 5 program, you're going to have to start winning national championships on a routine basis. So that's kind of a different, that kind of speaks for itself. That's what you got to do. That's how you got to get in there once you try to move up that level. But as far as, kind of moving up tiers and such, I think Nebraska job can move back, and it's always going to be a unique job as well. And so when you kind of talk about good and bad, those are just kind of words that you can kind of throw out and kind of categorize, obviously. But I don't, it's not quite that easy. It's not quite that simple. And I'll always credit Coach Rule for coming in here, because the one thing I think and he did a better job, I think, than any coach of understanding the landscape of what Lincoln was, what he was walking into, all that sort of stuff. You called former coaches, including Scott Frost, to kind of get their opinion on it. But, one way, because there's different ways to look at this, is what I'm getting to, is you could say it's a bad job because the expectations are to win 9 and 10 games at a program that hasn't won in 9 or 10 games for a decade. Okay, well, that can be a difficult, part of the job. But again, if you kind of turn that on its head, it's that there's a care factor enough for Nebraska football and a belief enough that everything else is being put into it that they should be able to do that. And that expectation shouldn't come down from that standard. And so, you can kind of look at that from different ways. From a coach, I always think, man, that would be tough to go into a place, again, that doesn't have any recent history of 9 or 10 win seasons, but expects that, somewhat right away. I will say those expectations were tempered because of the recent lack of success. And so I think we're kind of feeling, at one time it would have been crazy, even Coach Riley, to say, hey, we're aiming for 9 or 10 wins in year 3, when, he took over a 9 or 10 win program for 7 straight years. Right. So it's just kind of different. And now Nebraska, the last couple of years, I don't know if it's had that expectation. I think it's kind of been what we've seen in Coach Rule's recent stops was, okay, kind of hiring. You can't get mad if you hire, if you get the results of what you hired, what was on, the resume coming in. And that's what Matt Rule's kind of done, is losing season, foundation season, then, 7-6, slightly above 500 season. And then year 3 is the breakout. So we'll see what kind of happens there. But I just thought it was interesting. And he didn't slightly misspeak and say Nebraska was a bad job when he took it. He reemphasized that later. And so I find that fascinating from the different levels that you could view that.
All right, Bock, give us something else, Bock.
All right, here's another clip that I thought was interesting on Rule, and I wanted to get your thoughts specifically on it, because this is the defense. So there are questions about the defensive line coming into the season up front. Rule in a side session was talking about the weapons they have on that defense.
You know, when I go out places, people ask me about the defensive line a lot, and our defensive line is they're gonna be hell on wheels. Just watch. We can talk about a lot of things, and you know what we have though? We have Andrew Marshall, and we have Sierra Wright, and we have Amari Sanders and Bly Hill and Jeremiah Charles. We got corners that can match up and play man. We got Javen Wright, who's a cheat code. He can match all the best tight ends in this league. Like, you don't have to put a safety on him, but you have an extra safety to rob people. So we can play man, load the box, and stop the run if we have to. We can blitz. When I go to bed at night, the things that keep me up at night it's not the D line. Our defense is going to be good, and I like Butler. He's an aggressive guy. He's not going to settle for bad defense.
Well, it's one thing my pops always told me, Bock. It's better to show them and to tell them. And when you say that, you got to show me on Saturday afternoon what these guys of a lot. Two of these guys have been on the DB crew last year. Drew Bly Hill and Sierra Wright. We did see those guys last year. Defensive backs took a kind of a step back last year to me. Under John Butler, who now is the defensive coordinator, maybe he can focus all his attention on the defensive unit now instead of the DBs. Defensive line is still going to be a little problem for me. Not a problem, but a concern for me. Unless some of these guys picked up 40 pounds during the off-season part. But it starts with a lot of not with a lot of substitution, but with a lot of bodies. You got to have a lot of bodies on that defensive line. When he says that he feel comfortable at night, I don't know about that, Bock. I'm still kind of up in the air with the defensive line just because of the guys you lost. When you lose a guy like Ty Robinson and Nash, who's that big, and we've seen the guys through the portal that doesn't have the size of the two giants that we used to have. So now you have to say, hey, are we going to be a quicker, faster defense, or are we going to be able to maintain and have those DNs put hands on somebody so they can't get to the linebackers, so they can't reach Marquise Trent Watson, so he can be that tackling machine that he was at Georgia Tech. Now, Javen Wright is a cheat code, but you have to use him in the right game.
Yeah.
Game mode. So, I've seen mistakes made and just not mistakes, but, just I feel like loss of concentration. That happened, especially against the Iowa team last year in the fourth quarter when Caleb Johnson bust that big run, that big catch or whatever it was. But at the same time, they still got a long way to go, Bock. I mean, you still got a month of practice for preseason. They can get better. And we will know against Kansas City.
Well, it's interesting, in Kansas City against Cincinnati. But to be able to go out there and call a guy a cheat code, that's no small title to give somebody, especially at Big Ten Media Day. So that's big, and I'm kind of wondering what that linebacker rotation is going to look like. Obviously, coming up, if you've got the Buck linebacker that's going to be kind of primarily a rusher, that kind of leaves two of them out there. And we obviously think Marquise Watson Trent is going to be a bit of a tackling machine. If he believes that Javen Wright is a cheat code, it'd be hard to take him off the field, right? And then where does Vince Shavers kind of get in there with Deshaun McCullough taking that? So they're going to have options. They're going to have guys rotating in and out. But it'd be interesting to see who gets the starts, and then of course who gets the black shirts here at Nebraska. That's always a tradition to kind of follow along as well. But I think kind of going back to that defensive line, that's the big question on that defense this year, and how much pressure they can get on with that rushing attack or with that pass rushing attack. But then also, can they stop the run is the big question. Nebraska's done a pretty good job of doing that. We've seen over the years what can happen if they do lose contain and they do lose the ability to stop the run. We even saw in Indiana last year. It can get out of hand pretty quickly. So do they have the bodies up front? We'll have to wait and see. I think there are at least guys that we've seen play in Van Poppel and Lynn Hart. I think obviously with both of them, maybe felt like 2 years ago was better. And the Van Poppel didn't get much action in the redshirt season this past year. Now, if they're starters or Keona Davis, they went in the transfer portal. They believe his ceiling is crazy high. Williams Nwaneri. We'll see kind of what he brings to the table. So there's a lot of bodies in there. There's enough that makes you think that they could probably get it done. But that's my question. And I remember, James Williams, who is not the most beloved ex-Husker now, but was in the studio before and talking about the relationship the defensive line had last year. And he wished that spread across the team because it was such a close unit under Terrence Knighton and those guys and those seniors, those departing seniors as well. Does all that magic leave the room? Because there's a lot of guys that left the room, not just Ty and Nash, but Terrence Knighton and of course Tony White and some of those other pieces and James Williams and such. Is that defensive line still ready to kind of take off, or at least know and those understudies, right? The guys we've been talking about, the Cam Linharts, the Van Poppels, did they see enough of it to be able to translate it to the next generation of defensive linemen at Nebraska? Will be the big question. If they can, then this defense has a lot of tools in their tool belt.
Well, it's a lot of guys on that defensive line. And when let me go back to the first question when you talk about the linebackers. Monday I put a group together, and not a group, but a two deep positions at each one of those linebacker positions. So when you look at the Buck linebacker,
that's the Jack linebacker, the Russian,
the Jack linebacker. So you look at a guy like Willis McGahee.
Yeah, he'll be in there.
And then you look at the McCullum. So
yeah.
you too deep right there. So when you go to middle linebacker, Bock, you have to go with Marquise Watson Trent. And you have to go with a Jacob Bowers, so that leaves you at the wheel. Now that's too deep at the Mike, which is the middle. Trent Watson and Jacob Bauer, who just got put on scholarship in the springtime. So now you look at the linebacker spot and you was like, wow, okay, now I got Vincent Shavers and you have Javen Wright. Now you have your too deep on your linebackers, but at the same time, you could substitute a guy like Buddha for a defensive end on not a defensive end, but for a nickel back and bring him in the box and let him cover the tight end. So there's a lot you can do, or you can move him to the jack and let them blitz on certain downs. But at the same time, you got to keep these guys happy, because if you don't, there's a lot of transfer reporters still left back in college football. So, that's one thing you got to do. You don't want to, I'm not going to say step on no toes, because the coaches coach the team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, some players you got to keep happy.
Keep them fed.
Like a Vincent Shavers. You don't want to get him to pull an Ernest Hausman on you. You just, it's just things you don't and want to try to control.
Yeah, and we saw, Ernest Hausman spoke about his time at Nebraska at the podium as well. I was a little bit surprised with Javen Wright in the way they're talking about him, especially with these comments here, that he didn't kind of take over that Isaac Gifford spot. It looks like right now, maybe that's kind of, I don't know if they're transitioning to more of a defensive back and less of kind of a in-between defensive back and linebacker that Isaac Gifford kind of, that rover spot that Isaac Gifford kind of man each of the last couple of years. Maybe the defense looks a little bit different with what you're planning on doing it. If you play him at linebacker, then it does open up a lot of that spacing. But and so I considered that. Obviously, Javen Wright came into the program as a defensive back and transitioned to linebacker. So how much do you want to kind of what would be the ideal body weight of playing that sort of position would be interesting. But let's not act like there's not a lot of guys playing for fighting for playing time in that defensive backfield too.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking that because it might allow Javen Wright to get on the field and some of these other linebackers. But again, that's when you talk about year 3 and going in and why is there's confidence, part of it's got to be the depth among the back 7. Now that front line is what we're going to continue to talk about because it's unproven, but there's at least bodies there and hopefully enough that they can get it together so that they can allow this depth in the back 7 and the talent in the back 7 to shine.
All right, Bock, let's go to break. And when we come back, more Nebraska football. And then after we talk a little bit more Nebraska football, we're going to do it in another segment, but we're going to do Bock 101 when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Off, cleanup made simple.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to be partly to mostly cloudy here for your Friday. Very slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon into this evening. High temperature of 83 degrees with a light southerly wind. We'll drop down to 70 for a low tonight before we hit 90 for a high on Saturday, and then we'll be pushing triple digits Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Doudna 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock and the Blackshirt here on your 1 to 3 hour, Monday through Friday on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, Bock, let's give them something what they've been waiting for. They haven't heard in a couple of days. This is going to be a quick little Bock 101.
That's right. We are leading up to, of course, college football season. We did our Big Ten previews. Now the Big Ten media days have went and gone. So we're not going to preview every team, but we might play every team fight song because we really enjoyed the fight song portion of it. So let's go ahead and play some fight song. You guys can rate it here. 402-464-5685. Give us your rating. We'll also get Terrell Farley's rating for these fight songs. Let's start with this one today, and you can kind of try to guess, I suppose, who it is as well as we listen throughout it. So there you go. There's our first fight song of the day. Kind of sounds like a cutscene from the Andy Griffith Show, but lots of different ways to kind of go with that. What do you think so far, Trill? You like this fight song?
I like this one because it has a lot of everything in it, and it sounds professional, like more like they're a great practicing team. But I'll give it an 8, Bob.
An 8? That's a pretty high score.
Yeah, I like it. It sounds like a Looney Tunes kind of beat to it, but it does sound good though.
Yeah. I don't mind it there. That fight song comes from our good friends at Air Force. Thanks to everybody who obviously serves in the Army, Navy, and Air Force. That's our theme today. So there we go. That is our first fight song of today. Let's move along. Of course, there is a big rivalry between Army and Navy, so you're gonna have to choose which fight song you like better. We'll start with Army. there's a quiet part coming up, so we'll see what this leads to. And we're back there. There's the Army fight song. So far, our responses to the Air Force one. 9531 says, sounds like Music Man, too much piccolo. Bill Invident says, sounded like carnival music to me, so he gave that a 3.2. What are your thoughts of the Army fight song here? I'll give mine real quick, briefly, is that I like them. They're definitely, different and kind of feel like they come out of a musical. They don't make me think so much of football as much as like patriotism, obviously.
Well, it sounds exactly like when I turn on my PlayStation and put it on College Football 26, because that's the intro music that they have at the start of the game. But it does sound, okay. I would probably give it a 3, 4.
Okay. Well, it always helps to relate it back to a video game or an experience. So I can remember soundtracks for my favorite Madden games growing up and stuff like that. So that can help if you kind of put that in your brain as football and can relate to football. So that can help. Isaac says off the text line, that one sucks for football. He gives it a 3, so I wasn't a little happy about that. Bill and Bennett a little better at a 4. So yeah, not a great score so far for Army. Let's see if you guys like Navy fight song a little bit better. Listen, I got no fight between Army, Navy, and Air Force. Like I said, I cheer for everybody. Obviously, our military out there. But I have to say, as far as fight songs goes, this one is fantastic. I could listen to that one all day, I think.
Need a little more drum to it.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little more drums.
With the little stick when you do it like that. But I could give it a 6, Bob.
A 6, all right.
Yeah,
well,
it entertained me.
Yeah, I like that one. I think that's a hit. Mark and Holland says, a classic. Navy has great alternate uniforms as well. Bill and Bennett says, oh, yes, 9.8, so he loves it as well. And Coach Justin Hoffman says, Navy 10. Stolen by the Fairbury Jeffs. Okay, so Fairbury plays that as well. Well, I don't blame you. That is a fantastic fight song. So I think that was going to be right up there. We love Oregon. We could probably should play Oregon every time we do this, just because that's our favorite one so far. I think Navy would come up there pretty close with me as well. It doesn't hurt they've got a Billy Goat on the sidelines either.
That's okay, Bock. Hey, good job on that, Bock. We're looking for having some more coming up Monday. I think we'll probably do the ACC coming up this week. Next week after that, I think we'll try the SEC, and we'll try to get most of them done by the time we hit camp time in preseason football.
Yeah, absolutely. Gus Mohawk says too, play some HBCU fight songs.
Oh yeah, we got to look up Mickey.
There,
we got to look up Mickey Joseph one. So we definitely will have that one. Now, Bock, I got something that we didn't go through the other day, but I wanted to talk to you about it. And it had the top 10 college coaches with the most to prove. This is not the hot seat or any kind of thing. This is who has the most to improve, and it's top 10. Matt Rule's in it.
Okay.
So
now I'm interested.
Now this is why I got it, because of Matt Rule. Had top 10 college football coaches with the most to prove headed into this season. Number 1, James Franklin. I think we know he has to prove that he can get over this hump.
Yeah. Can he truly be one of the elite teams in college football, or always going to be the bridesmaid, not the bride?
Lincoln Riley.
Oh, yeah.
Hot seat and proven seat.
Yeah, he's got a lot to prove. Jaden Mayava, he had officially announced as the quarterback for this year's teams we all expected going into the game. Also announced that, at least gave off his impression that they'd love to play Notre Dame every year. That's a rivalry that is kind of on the cutting block right now. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, for Lincoln Riley, I'm especially interested to see in Mayaba's progress because he has been a quarterback whisperer over his career.
Yeah. All right, Bock, let's go to Brett Venables at number 3.
Yeah, a lot to prove. A lot to prove for Brett Venables over the course of his career. Turned down a lot of head coaching jobs, waited for the right one, Oklahoma, and it has not started well. Now, again, they did get a big victory over Alabama, but did lose in their bowl game against Navy. So a lot to prove there, especially in the SEC. I would put him near the top of the list just because how many different categories he has to prove it. Again, not just as as for the Oklahoma hot seat talk, but just as a proven head coach overall.
All right, Brett, Mario Cristobal at number 4.
In Miami. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Without Cam Ward, can he keep the train rolling?
All right, 5. Matt Rule.
There he is.
I think Matt Rule has to prove something because, his resume speaks for itself, especially on third seasons.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Bock, if it doesn't happen like it had happened at Baylor and Temple, where do we go?
I think that is one of the most fascinating questions that there is out there, is because we've all put so much on this year 3. It's everything that his resume says, and it seems like everything's adding up that they should be able to pop this year. Is that what if they do win 7 or 8 games, right? And it's okay, good season, better than what we've had recently, but it didn't pop. I hope there's enough patience to kind of see that and see it play out as a fruition. Again, there's no guarantee from God that Matt Rule is going to work in his 3rd year. It just shows off. And so I over his tenure so far, but it could be perhaps maybe, they really don't pop until year 4, year 5 under Matt Rule. And so as long as he does good enough to keep everybody on board, then I think it'll be fine. But there will be an offseason of questions next year if they win 7 or 8 games of, okay, well, wasn't that the pop year? Well, what's next?
Yeah, Bock, when we talk about this year 3 and Matt Rule, yeah, it's going to play a bigger part. And if he doesn't do it like he's supposed to do it, then you say, okay, next year. But when you look at our schedule, it's getting harder each year. The schedule's going to get hard. I mean, now you have an Oregon team that you're going to play. Then you got some other teams. So I'm trying to pull up the 27 schedule right quick so we can see how that's different from the rest of them. I think 27, you have Minnesota, Oregon, Purdue, Rutgers, Northwestern, Ohio State, Washington, Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan State. It's kind of all right schedule. I mean, you still have 2 of the big dogs of the Big Ten in it. When you say the 27, is Washington a team that's on the rise? I think probably yes. So we have to see how they do this time, this year.
Along with Michigan State. I mean, there's some teams in there. Illinois, where are they at by then? It could be a tough schedule. It could maybe lighten up. We'll kind of have to see how this year plays out. But that whole question, the year 3 thing, is why I believe there might be more of a boom or bust possibility to the season than we might want to expect. Because like I said, 7 or 8 wins, okay, fine, not exactly what everybody wants. Some people would be happy with 8 wins. But, not exactly to that next stratosphere that they're talking about going. For what it's worth, Dylan Raiola said he wants a national championship. So that's kind of their goals going into this. But that's why a little bit of a fear to me is if they don't reach those goals and they go through all this all offseason thinking we're going to be the man, and then, you're kind of stuck midway through the season, it's not going quite well. Don't let it turn into a bust. Don't let it kind of overwhelm you. I know this is going back ways, but kind of happened to the 07 team. They had a lot more talent on that team than what their 5-7 record indicated. But that loss to USC kind of exposed them. That was supposed to be their, hey, we've arrived in college football. We can compete with the top USC. It didn't go well. And I thought that probably leaked into the confidence in the locker room and just the way that season played out. If you remember, the defense kind of completely gave up and, we're just giving up points left and right. And Joe Gans had to come in with the offense and try to save the day. But in any case, I think there have been examples over the years where, hey, this is supposed to see. I mean, 2017, Mike Riley, right? Kind of finally went away from Tommy Armstrong and into Tanner Lee, the quarterback that Mike Riley's supposed to type of quarterback Mike Riley has had success with in the past. And then it blew up early on in the non-con and they never recovered. So that's why I think there is a little bit of a boomer bust element to this year. And I just hope that even if this season does go awry to the degree of, maybe not to get those 9 or 10 wins, that they can maintain at least the 6 and 7 that they, 6 regular season wins, 7 total that they had last year.
All right, Bock, I'm going to read these 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 off real quick. 6, Luke Fickle. 7, Mike Norvell. 8, Brian Kelly. 9, Deion Sanders. And 10, Kalen DeBoer.
Those are some big names there. I don't know if they're ordered, ranked in order or not, but man, there's a lot to prove from Kalen DeBoer and Deion Sanders. I mean, man, a list like that really gets you excited for college football because I want to know the answers on a lot of these guys.
Especially when you say Deion Sanders, how do he fixes his team out there losing his son, both his sons, and Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
Luke Fickle, can he pick up the pieces and bring them back to a 500 team or over?
They're bringing back the run game at Wisconsin.
Mike Norvell, who obviously 2 and 10 at Florida State. Brian Kelly, who has a lot to show us, or he might be out of there in Death Valley.
That's right. The real Death Valley.
Yeah, take us out, Bock.
Not Death Valley Jr. All right, this is Bock in the black shirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bockoven. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, All-American, and the leading tackler for the greatest of all time, the greatest team of all time, the 95 Huskers. We'll be back with our final segment of the week coming up next.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant.
Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grata Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grata offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grata Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center. Don't miss the 8th Annual Wing Fest on Saturday, July 26th at Haymarket Park from 5 till 8 p.m. Local restaurants will be serving wings from 5 to 7 p.m. with live music going until 8. Ice cream and beverages will also be available for purchase, and all the proceeds from the event will go to benefit students in the local community. Get your tickets today at wingfestlincoln.com and make sure you attend the 8th Annual Wing Fest at Haymarket Park on July 26th.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered. Specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple and Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock and the Blackshirt here. If you're not busy tomorrow, come down to the ball field. Is that Haymarket Park?
Yeah,
where we're going to be at?
Yeah.
It's going to be the Wing Fest. Come out there and have you some wings and meet me and Bock out there. We're going to try to eat them all up and judge them correctly as we supposed to do. Bock, are you looking excited for tomorrow to come around?
Yeah, wings are my favorite food, so I'm very excited to taste test it all again. We'll see if I can eat them all. I know there were questions earlier. We don't necessarily have to ingest the whole thing. Just take a bite out of each one and kind of rank it there. So now we're in year 2. I'm the second year as a wing aficionado. So now I know what I'm looking for coming in. I'm ready to do a better job as a judge this year.
Yeah, you don't have to eat the whole wing, Bob.
Yeah.
The only thing we're doing is we tasting it.
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to tasting. How many we did last year? 18?
Like 18 of them.
Yeah, that was a lot of chicken. And I didn't probably ate chicken probably 3 times this week, Bob. So I need to cut back on the chicken but I'm going to take
That's pretty good for you. It's not the worst for you.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, as long as it goes down good, it comes out good too. So,
There you
I love chicken and love everything about it. But can't wait till tomorrow and see how everything goes at the Wing Fest tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see who the other celebrity judges are as well. Of course, last year we had a few fun celebrity judges to go along with, and I think for the most part we all felt similar, but there's some disputes about which wings were the favorites. So looking forward to all of that, and like you said, what better place to do it than Haymarket Park here in Lincoln. Raining a little bit today. I don't know if that's in the forecast for tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a good day for it.
All right, Buck, 34 days to Husker football. As we think of number 34, who are some of the greatest 34s to ever step on Nebraska football field?
Well, I think Benedict Trev is probably the best. unfortunately, for what people like to call him. I've still been a supporter of Trev Alberts in my own right, just because, I do appreciate what he did during his playing days. And, for a while there, it was cool. I know he didn't end up being our favorite athletic director of all time. But how many schools across the country could say their athletic director had won a Butkus Award? So that was pretty cool. And then one of my favorite players of all time, I was thinking about doing a segment called Box Run-Ins, because I always ran into, living in Lincoln my whole life, I always run into players here and there. One of my favorite run-ins I ever did was when I worked at a roast beef establishment. I had Stuart Bradley come through my line and pick something up when he had that beautiful long hair that he grew out, I think, for his senior season. Might have been his junior and senior season, but either way, he was quite a force on that linebacker unit. So I'd put him up there, and then Cody Glenn. How about a guy that could play linebacker and running back? Terrell Newby, another one that maybe is forgotten, I think, in the lineage of Husker running backs. Not good, not great, right? And I think so there's kind of a reason for that, but he definitely had some speed, was a big time recruit. And that's all the 34s I can think of right now.
Randy Stella.
Randy Stella.
Great linebacker who played in the late 2000s. Was a kickoff return man too. So, and have him. Dave Butterfield.
Okay.
Butterfield played linebacker and was a key part of the 70 and 71 national championship team right there, Buck. Raymond Richards, also a linebacker, played in the late 70s and the early 80s, man. That was, that's old time 34 numbers when you look at that. Who else we got right now? Vincent Shavers, who was 34 when he first came in.
Was he really?
Yeah, not 34. I'm looking at something
I was going to say, I don't even remember that. I know he switched his number to number 1 last year at some point.
Yeah, Dave Fitz. You ever heard of him? Yeah, they got him around as one of the greatest to wear number 34. So
Eric has one off the text line. Can't quite remember his playing days, but Rashawn Jackson might be one. Oh, yeah, I do. No, I do remember
VJ,
that guy.
he
Yeah,
was
that's not a
34.
bad one.
Yeah,
he was 34.
Yeah, great number 34. So, yeah, we have a lot of 34s up here for the university with 34 days left for Nebraska football. All right, we thank you for listening to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back rolling Monday through Friday here coming up, and we're going to have some exciting football talk for you next week.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery,